Shed Talks, here we go. Drugs and Triathlon, part 3 of 4 parts. I'm going to vent on this one in the beginning here. So you might like it, you might not like it. You might think I'm picking on Collin+Chartier. I don't care. I'm just going to vent, and I'm probably going to say a lot of the stuff that a lot of you are thinking. His excuses and reasons and justifications for why he took EPO, they're straight out of the playbook of every single other person who has been caught taking drugs. You know, oh, I only did it this one time. I only did it after I raced. I started in November. I didn't do anything prior to that. He had his 2 best races ever in August and September last year. He starts taking EPO in November. Are we supposed to believe that? Again, going from other people's playbooks from the past sounds pretty sketchy. If you start taking it after you've won all his prize money, then you don't owe any of it back. Yeah, he points to the fact that I didn't have any positive tests. You can look at my tests from any time back prior to that. Yeah, you just didn't test positive. That doesn't mean that you didn't take anything. Cynical? Yeah, that's a cynical attitude on my part. But it's a question that I have, and probably a question that a lot of you have. You say everybody at the top of the sport's taking drugs, but you don't know who they are. How can you not know who they are if you think everybody's taking drugs at the top of the sport, the people that are beating you? Yeah, right? Let me think about that one. If I could do anything on this investigation, I'd say, okay, show me your credit card receipts for that EPO that you purchased in November. Look at those credit card receipts, and then look back in time and see were there any other purchases with those credit cards that look sketchy. You might find some, but I don't think anybody's done that. He said, I had soft tissue injuries on my foot and my hip, and I was so far behind on training, and it was November. The season ended in October. You're 1 month into the off season and you're so far behind everybody else. Give me a break. And you want to heal soft tissue stuff? In my understanding about performance enhancing drugs, EPO helps you go fast. Yeah, it does increase circulation, some of that stuff, I guess. However, if you want to heal the soft tissue, wouldn't you be taking something like human growth hormone or, let's say, testosterone? Were you taking those? Did you just not get caught? Were those purchased on those credit cards? I'm being cynical here, but these are probably questions that a lot of other people out there in the world have had. And you've said your justifications. You said you can't beat people because they're on drugs and you're not, and you can't beat them. Well, let's look at your Ironman time last year. EPO, by research, I looked into this. I Googled about EPO, just like you did, Colin. And it said that it gives about a 6% increase in performance. 6%, that's massive, right? And so if I look at your Ironman time last year and I take 6% off of that, you still go something like 8 hours and 3 minutes. You're still 23 minutes behind the guy who won last year. That EPO is not going to get you a win in Kona, so why would you do it? If I took my best time, 8:07, and I got 6% faster, my time in Kona with EPO, in theory, would have been 7 hours and 37 minutes. I would have beaten Gustav Iden by 3 minutes. It would be worth it for me. But you, let's say you don't go to Kona. Maybe you go back to Mont Tremblant and you race Josh Amberger again. And all of a sudden you get a 6% increase. Instead of beating him by 4 minutes, you beat him by something like 26 minutes in 1 year. Do you think nobody would look at that and go, I want to bring this around now to just athletes who get caught, they get asked questions, they give answers, none of it does anything. Rarely does it do anything. Rarely does it expose others who are taking drugs. Rarely does it expose the whole process that they went through. They have to be pinched really hard before they finally spill at least some of the beans, right? I think one solution that could help improve, decrease the number of athletes who are taking drugs is to make the squeeze so hard on those who get caught that people really do think twice about taking performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen, athletes of the world. If you go fishing in a pond and you catch one fish, do you think that's the only fish in the pond? Absolutely not. There's more. You may just not catch them. And so what do we do with those other fish? How do we take the incentive away for those who are not getting caught to just say, whoa, I don't even want to do this anymore? Here's a solution. Make a lot of this a criminal offense. Think about it this way. Grand theft is about $1,000 or $1,500, $1,000 or $1,500, depends on the state, something like that. If you have intent to defraud somebody, that's a criminal offense. If you're taking EPO, you have intent to defraud somebody. You're planning on trying to get prize money and win races by frauding, through fraud. It's illegal to take EPO and race. Collin is supposedly so remorseful for what he did, and he might be. But he was not remorseful when he got caught. He was remorseful after he talked to Chris Froome's lawyer and decided that the process of trying to fight that was not worth it. Up until that point, he was thinking, maybe I can get away with this. Maybe I can get it covered up. Maybe I can get it washed under the table and keep on racing. No, he got remorseful once he figured out it's just not going to be worth it. Too much money. Maybe I won't be able to win. I'll look even worse. If he was truly remorseful for what he did, the second he got that positive drug test, he would have come out and said, hey world, I just tested positive for EPO. I took it. The test is positive. I screwed up. I was mentally in the wrong place. I shouldn't have done this, blah, blah, blah. But instead he goes and sees a lawyer to see if maybe he can get it overturned before it goes public. Anyway, what if we made some of these things criminal offenses? If you go in a race, let's say he went to Ibiza this year and he wins $100,000 using EPO. He's defrauded people out of $100,000. He would not have won that $100,000 without the EPO, right? That's a big steal. That's a crime. If somebody goes in a bank and they take $100,000 and they get caught, do the police just go, give me that $100,000 back. I know that you're going through a tough time and that's why you did it. Here's $5 for a hamburger. Just don't go into a bank for 4 years. That's in essence what the penalty is like for somebody taking EPO in sport. But what if it was a crime? That's the solution. Not every positive drug test for every single thing should be a crime. You know, you take cough syrup, okay, don't throw the person in jail. But if somebody's taking EPO, it's a positive test. That's fraud. That's intent to steal. That's a crime. Make it a crime. Throw them in jail. If that was the screw that got tightened on people who take performance-enhancing drugs, that one person or two people who get caught would influence the decisions that all of those others who are out there considering taking drugs would choose. In Europe, they've done this. Some of the countries in Europe now have made possession of a lot of the performance-enhancing drugs completely illegal and criminal to have. That's a good solution. Why don't we put that in place? There's one more part to this. Stay tuned for it. It's going to be talking about who is the true hero in all of this scenario and actually how Collin could become a hero. Coming out tomorrow.